YouTube, welcome to the top 8 grand finale and top deck list by watching as long as you can. That greatly supports the events. This is with the new pack and new ban list applied. Rahu to 1, Lucas to 1, Cupsy to 1, Prayers to 1, Stake Your Soul to 1. It's all gone to 1, and I think it's had a big impact on this tournament. Now, we're going to have to wait a week or two, at least 2 weeks of tournaments, and then I would say the tier list would be in a good spot to properly convey what the meta actually is. We can't just look at it from one tournament, so don't get too excited. We aren't in the era of rogue decks being great again. We just got to wait. Now, with that said, we have a brand new deck. Magnets are here, and I believe there should be another magnet deck in the top 8 that is not using Natura Beast. This one is using Natura Beast, all right? Now, are you ready? This is a full combo. This level 7 is the combo starter. It doesn't even activate in hand. It dumps 2 cards in the deck, and then you wombo combo from there. Are you ready? Uh-oh, against a Max freaking C. Hajime.
There can only be one winner, and you're looking at it. Let's go.
Right away, send from the deck. There's something so wrong about, let's say you're physically playing in the TCG and the duel starts and your opponent picks up their deck and starts looking through it. And they're like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm doing my effect. What? You didn't activate anything. That's right. You don't start a chain link. You just pick up your deck, dump from the deck. Look at this. He didn't reveal. Pick up deck, look through deck, dump 2 cards, and then slap this on the field before you could even respond. How is that real? Now we're activating the Sigma Plus to reborn the Epsilon. As the Epsilon will further send from the deck, then possibly reborn from the graveyard. We passed on that effect. We're still forcing out a Granite under Max C. Searching for Nibiru. Makes sense. Of course you would do that. Lupus summoning, as we're now going to Little Knight force out the Lupus activation into a Typhon. We couldn't even Typhon. I mean, we could have. We just didn't want to Typhon. No Typhon play. We don't even play Typhon. We're not on Typhon. Interesting. Now, with Crystron, we are also on Zombie Vampire with the Millennium Engine. Naroi on summon, activate to summon from the deck, Little Knight, banish away the Naroi, and then we're left with, we could hit him with the Fualos, we do have Ghost Spell, and of course, the searched for Nibiru. If we can make a Ripper, we then obviously get to negate the Nibiru. Jokel, reveal, double summon. Fualos would not be drawing off of this, but before they perform that Xyz summon, let's hit him with the Fua and still commit to the Ripper. Ripper now pinning down Nibiru as we have a double Ghost Bell. Nibiru up the field, 9,100 damage on the field. Negate Nibiru. That is unfortunate. Over 9,000 damage. The duel got Max Seed. We got Max Seed. That's how it be. Otherwise, there would have been a beautiful field of Natura Beast, Sprite Elf, a bunch of other magnet-specific disruptions. Let's try again in game 2. Are you ready? We have combo, wombo combo, Droll. How impactful will Droll be? Let's find out. We made the worst of 2 plays under Droll. This gets hit by the Droll. You know, I guess we could still do something through this. If we tried to fuse first and then we get Drolled on adding the spell, we could then chain the spell to grab the level 7, then dump from the deck, then reborn, then send from the deck, then reborn again, and then have the card that could pop a card from the hand to then reborn. I feel like we possibly could have done a lot more, but we would have to really be thinking about the Droll. Otherwise, with this play, how much could we do against the Droll? Mask Arena instead of the level 8. So with this, we have a Little Knight double banish. We have a double special summon negate with the Wave King Caesar. We have an imperm negate. We have a Max C now on to you, mate, and a Droll in Lockbird. So I guess we're not going to count the Max C. Droll would be the 6th form of disruption. Let's go. What we could do is we could Max C within the window of Drolling, and when the Max C gets fingered, we then chain Droll. Now, It's exactly what he's doing. And then you change role. Got him. Well done. Now, under Droll, Imperm, double special summon negate, double banish mate. What can Abdullah do? No more adding for you. Sulfador, pop, on summon, dump from the deck 2 cards, Imperm, negate. I agree with that. You could get the trap in the graveyard if you have a way to make the synchro. You could then add the trap back to our hand instead of going into Smyger. We now have Little Knight, banish away the Sulfador. With the Crystron Inclusion, it could reborn a monster from engrave. So the Sulfaneer will go to the grave, then we could reborn it back with the Inclusion. Only if this card is destroyed on the field would it trigger to summon a Crystron from the deck. So no trigger here. As we reborn back the Sulfaneer, to destroy it by battle, no, we're just going to take out the Little Knight instead. Ending on nada. No disruption. Now, how do we know if Wave King Caesar could negate this effect? If we destroy this by battle, special summon a Crystron from the deck, we'd have to see if it negates the activation. That's it. Very simple. It does negate the activation, thus we could battle over it, but then next turn you can Inclusion again to reborn it back. We could then go spell it. We also have Engraver. Now, Engraver is worded in a way where it says send the card to the grave. This is only if destroyed. So if we send it, not destroying it, no trigger, and then we're good. Why didn't he activate? If this card is destroyed, special summon a Crystron from your deck. Why didn't he activate? I don't understand. It would have minused, you don't want Lacrima in the graveyard? No targets in your Crystron deck? What are you talking about? Inclusion grabbed Tristaros, which could have been attempted to be summoned from the deck, which the Wave King Caesar could have then negated. Bell negates. Chain Tristaros, negate Tristaros, and destroy. And then we have Inclusion to reborn. Inclusion will be our final play to reborn back onto the field. Lacrima burning for that 1200. This Vern further searching. We already committed to our normal summon. Sulfador pop. Oh my goodness. This duel has ran away from us. What the heck happened? What happened here? Did we reborn? We reborned Engraver and then turned it into a Requiem. Yeah, I guess we didn't have a way to try to send a Sulfaneer. Not that he activated the Sulfaneer anyway. But then, you know, the Bell and Wave King Caesar was definitely not enough. As you can see this build, this field building up. Infinity will be given the Lacrima Crimson Tier, the good suck, or, oh, yep, goes for her. Bam. Why her, though? I mean, we don't want her in the graveyard. She's recyclable. Turn back in the deck, summon from the deck. Sure, makes sense. Negate anything, pop anything. Negate and pop. Is this it? Reborn the Engraver, keeping the Requiem. Requiem is in the extra deck, so we're waiting to summon that. We're just going to pop him before he goes into it. And now, the bonding. With the Bond Fusion summon using the Graveyard or Banishment. Now, what we would have summoned is a card that would, on summon, be able to reborn a monster from the graveyard and then also return back a monster on field to the extra deck. And it would be 2600. So the Infinity would be attacked over. We could bounce during the opponent's turn if we want to. Also, whatever we reborn back could make other plays, search the deck. That was a big card to negate. Damn. We had cards like Rahu, I guess, keeping a very powerful card like Wave King Caesar in check. Maybe it was a good thing preventing the use of this and not wanting people to play it. Now, this is doing nothing right now. but the opponent doesn't know that. This could be a good trick. You flip it up on TCG, they say, what does it do? You could say, it says that you can't target monster in the field, you can't fusion, you can't synchro, you can't seize. Is that cheating? You're not saying what it does, you're saying what it says. And it only does that if you have 2 cards in the pendulum zone, so it actually does nothing. Siegfried, negate a spell and trap card, good suck, we could do it at least twice, could negate 2 special summons, 5 disruption. Magnet bonding, negate, not today, mate. What happened? What happened here? We got ashed. We then added another one. We then set it. Oh my gosh. Holy moly. We got really messed up by that ash. Damn. Orthros plus a Surveyor. We're gonna use the Orthros to pop the Purge. What's the worst that could happen if I set Purge, right? I mean, no one's MSTing, Heavy Storm's not in the meta. What's the issue here? Well, it's now gone. Gone forth, Surveyor, Griffin, and Orthros into a Nibiru. We over-summoned. Now, we would need a Dark Contract in the grave, plus a double D to be able to negate Nibiru. And also, you're not on Nibiru? That's what your crossout's for, mate. What are you doing? Yeah, no Nibiru in his deck, obviously. Man, it was so good until you didn't have Nibiru in your deck. Insane. I guess a good question is, are we entering a Nibiru meta? If Draco Tail's not going to be a prevalent deck, a deck that you don't really Nibiru, you can't Nibiru, and even if you could, their field's usually not good enough to want to Nibiru. Looking at the top cards, Nibiru's usage rate is pretty damn low. It even went from 30% down to 20. Maybe this will jump up to 40 or 50% plus without Draco Tail being the most prevalent deck anymore. We're gonna have to play around it. Holy field, 16,000 damage. Why would you tell them you don't play Nibiru by flipping this up? That's what you just did. Oh, he doesn't play Nibiru. I'll take that into game 3. Lethal damage. Don't reveal. With prayers at 1, people are seemingly adverse to be trying the deck. We're gonna have to see by next week though. Habakiri went to 2, that did nothing, but prayers to 1. That really is something. Ash. This. Boom. Got him. He's got the cross out again. This pins the queen into the back row. You then can't make Gilgamesh to set Pendulum Scales, which is one of your big plays of the deck. So it blocks your big play. It screws up everything. Thus, obviously worthy of using the cross-out designate. This is how you stop Nibiru. You can't Nibiru me because when we go to summon our Link 3, it's going to be the 5th summon. Okay, so we're going the different route instead. You will be able to Nibiru me. I will not be able to stop it. I think we will still be able to very easily play through the Nibiru. Okay, so we had 2 options. Completely stop Nibiru or play through Nibiru. Let's see how that works out. We got the Wave King Caesar. There's the Ragnarok, Hand Trap Negates. Pop into additionally Pendulum. This is when you link this off or just get into the graveyard. It is able to search for a Dark Contract instead. We're just gonna have the additional Xyz material on this. So we have a double suck on the Devicer. We suck once, then suck again, double special summon negate. We could then also negate a spell and trap card. We negate a hand trap. We could negate, or we could draw Lockbird, disallow them for further adding. Now, an issue with this is that there's a Nibiru on the field, 3,000. We could just go to battle and attack over something. We're not going straight to battle. We tried to bait out the Siegfried, then maybe go to battle against the Wave King Caesar. Santa is here. Say goodbye to the Machine X. And goodbye to the Wave King Caesar. Now, this will trigger the Queen to special summon and take out Nibiru. Sure. We have a monster effect in hand being able to negate. And spell and trap card negate. That's it. These are not really good disruption. I guess against the bonding, it's going to be very good, right? Negate bonding. So if we could deal with the Siegfried, then maybe that's the play. Now, Siegfried obviously can't negate a card in graveyard. It has to be on field. We don't negate the effect, we negate the card. Engraver is here, equip, and then now we could send the Siegfried. And by sending it, we can now search for the spell. We're not done. Fiendsmith sequence. And remember, Shadow is not on Natura Beast. We're on Rextremde instead. Discarding the search for magnets? I don't know about that. Was there no other way to delete the card before negating the search for magnets? I guess he was pinning down both plays. He would either negate the spell or negate the search for the magnets. I guess you'd have to think about making a Little Knight play, Little Knight banish, and then segue into our... Yeah, right? I think that maybe would have been a better option than this. Little Knight and Fiendsmith. Sorry, I'm trying to map this out. Get rid of both of them, then pop off from there. Now, instead, we have the Rextremde. Unaffected by card effects. Great. Is it a disruption, though? No, it's just a towers. We're towering. Is a towers going to be good enough? I mean, Liger's a towers, right? Liger is a towers with Raigeki on it. He's on Droll? Okay. I was theorizing what you could do if you weren't under Droll. So everything I said was correct. I'm trying to teach you what to do, not against that piece of shite Droll card. Droll sucks. We all hate Droll, right? So that is what you would do. You would use the Engraver and the Little Knight. So everything I said is you benefited from my... If I say something you benefit, then that's the correct play, right? Dennis said everything out, please. Okay, we're going to be summoning the Kepler. Kepler has another effect. Not just search your deck, but also return a card you control back to your hand to then replay the Queen. And only the turn it's played can you play the Dark Contract from the deck to then search for the Griffin. Let's pop our back row with the Lance, trigger the Queen, summon from the extra deck, non-target pop. Let's keep on taking out those back row cards, reducing the attack. What happens if this is sent to the grave? It has an effect to target a Fiendsmith in the graveyard, add it to your hand. Not very good. Clovis, Solomon, boost up, give us additional effects. We're going to be dealing 4,000 damage on this attack. 1K, then 3K, then lethal damage. Did Droll ruin the duel or what? Maxi ruins duels. Droll ruins duels. Is Fool Loss? Fool Loss is pretty close to kind of in sometimes ruining duels. Damn. What the hell? 2-1 victory. Neprim is going to search the deck for nothing. We could Fiendsmith track to play through that. We have another Impermanence, which will likely be used for the sequence. We have this false sense of security through our Call by the Grey Finger, but there's nothing to finger. Fingerless back-to-back Impermanence. So let's speed on through the inevitable Imperm. We don't want to be opening up Medora. Obviously, it's a brick. It's something you want to dump with Diviner during the opponent's turn with Sprite Elf reborning back the Diviner. As I said, negate onto the sequence. Let's further link this up into Little Knight Pass. Maxi, though. Call by the Grave, Little Knight, and Maxi. Hit him with the C. No negates. Link Kuribo to special summon. Oh boy, we are playing through that Maxi. The draws are happening like crazy. Herald of Orange Light getting Mudora in the graveyard, now able to shuffle cards from the opposing player's grave back in the deck whenever we want. That is devastating. Damn. Max freaking C. How great. If it weren't for Maxi, we would have chain reborn the Lollipo and then further would have made more plays. Sprite Elf with the sequence. Let's sequence again. What are we even talking about? It's over. Next game. Was that on purpose? Did he purposely leave him at 12? Was that BM? Is that DQ or what? We got Fua, Ash. Is it worth it to droll ourselves or just to simply make a minimal play, then pass? Draw one, field spell, reborn, pass. Not bad. Okay, we're special summon from the hand instead because we don't need to use the minion if we have the body in hand. We are further committing to the Cupsy Yummy. I am not sure about committing that far under the Fua loss. I feel Snatchy, another body, and the minion was maybe just the way. And if we had a Crow, it was also very good. So with this, which is what we would have just ended on instead of further committing under the Fua loss, we did get to eat up in Ash Blossom though. We have Droll, we have the Purge, so 2 non-engine disruption here. The Crow will on Synchro will pop a card. Our Synchro will be able to flip multiple cards down. We can go into Cupsy Synchro, search for the cookie, discard the cookie, then reborn the cookie to pop a monster on the field. 5 disrupt. Great. Orange light, no good. But the dispersion could search for a fairy that could be used with the orange light. Purge, negate. 4 more disrupt. Dispersion grabbing our fairy. And with our fairy, do we keep the fairy in hand? Do we negate that Droll with the cross-eyed designate? Of course. But if we keep Neprim in hand, we could use it right now. But if we use it, a Crow will trigger to summon from the deck. I guess we're allowing this. Cupsy's going to search for Cookie to discard to gain that additional disruption I was talking about. Do we want to make plays with Lacrima instead? He is holding on to the orange light. Very interesting. He could be waiting. Because if you orange light it, chains reborns back to Snatchy. If it returns back in the extra deck and you bell it or you orange light it, that's much more beneficial. That cuts off the Crow, cuts off the Cookie, and cuts off the Cookie Synchro. So it's a 3-for-1 special. You really got to think about that. That is insane. Jump off, summon. Further go into the sequence. Now he jumping, and now he negating. No cookie pop, no cookie flip, no a Crow pop, summon from the deck. Insane. Triple disruption stopped with 1 Herald of Orange Light because he perfectly timed it. Had he destroyed a card in the field, trigger a Crow. Damn. Very well done. Perfect use. Let's now finish him up. Wow, wait, it's a 2-0, huh? Damn. All right, Gem Knight is here. 6,500, burn for 12. GG. Okay. All right. Oh. It's not enough. Not enough. We're not BMing. Okay, we're good. I had this mind. I thought we were at 12. Okay, we're good. Cupsy requiring double disruption to stop it. If we Little Knight banish it, it's going to trigger the Crow. We're in a really bad spot. Even though he already used up the normal summon, search for a card that can special summon, regardless of the normal summon. Cupsy may win this. Yummy is in a really good spot, actually. Burn for 12. Banish away the Crow, because we don't want to trigger their effect to summon whatever they want from the deck. It is a one-of, but we searched it. We didn't hard draw it. The Cupsy Synchro did, in fact, grab it from the deck, so he didn't get lucky here. Little Knight is chaining to the effect to play the field spell, thus we could just chain to Synchro. This wasn't the effect to Synchro twice. Now, had we waited, the field spell would be basically pinning down the Little Knight as we reborn. If we chain, we then chain Synchro. If not, we just battle over the Little Knight. Reduce. Little Knight is dead, cannot use. And we should just win this duel. How did... 100 life? What the heck happened here? How did we not win this duel? No freaking way! I thought Hipster was getting 2-0'd. I turned off my brain, I thought he had it. I mean, open field, he was summoning a bunch of bodies. He also has Lacrima Burn. What went wrong? Did we mess up lethal damage or what? We have a dead Orange Light. Both players on Orange Light. Orange Light on Orange Light. Imperm negate the Neprum. What I'm noticing with this seemingly new meta is Imperm stocks are up. You're going to see a lot more Imperm. Wave King Caesar stocks are way up. And we might also be seeing a lot more Herald of Orange Light. That's possibly the third card that just all those three, maybe even Nibiru. Nibiru stocks might be up too. So 4 possible cards to be expecting a lot more of in this seemingly new meta. Now, what do we end on? Untargetable Wave King Caesar double special summon negates. Do we have a Masquerena engrave? We do not. It's like burned in my mind, her little animation she does on the screen here. But now, instead of that, we have Diviner dump Mudora or Diviner dump Ava. Ava could then search for a Herald card, so it's Mudora or Ava. Triple Disrupt. Now, you would think Diviner sent Entis, but we don't play that. We don't have room, right? No Entis. Let's do it. Divine it up. Dumping the Ava. Ava instead of Mudora. And as I said, searching for the Herald of Orange Light. Oh, we also have Droll. Almirajan. Special summon the Cupsy. Can't activate Wave King Caesar here. Droll. Now, Wave King Caesar can negate a Synchro's effect, returning itself back to Reborn from the grave. That would be the most beneficial way. The Wave King Caesar is now targetable. We can attempt to flip it down with a Cookie. Cookie flippage is the way. We're being careful. I feel, should we have Orange Lighted the Snatchy playing the field spell, then when they activate the Synchro, we Wave King Caesar negate? I feel like that was a really good idea. No? But then Almirage would protect it from being destroyed, actually. I think that Almirage is the core reason why that great play is actually not the way. Huh. Freaking Almirage. Almirage screwed us. And now we lose a Wave King Caesar. That could have been used on Snatchy activating the Synchro if we forced it out with the Herald of Orange Light. What the heck happened here? Holy a crow. Let's further make our Sprite Elf. We just have Orange Light, and of course he is under Droll. Negate and destroy the Sprite Elf. Whose duel is this? What is going on here? A Crow triggers some for the deck, Lollipo. Return back into the deck the Engraver. Let's check out his extra deck. The Fiend is sitting on, we still have the Requiem Fiendsmith engine. It infinitely recycles itself, of course. Crystal Rose dumping from the deck the Neprum. Neprum discarding the Gem Knight Fusion Reborn. Now Dispersion will have the additional effect of Fusion Summoning using cards from the deck if we want. Let's snatch it up. Cupsy searching our deck for a Cookie to, we already have Cookie, but we're triggering the Crow more importantly. And in response to a card effect, we could jump off Reborn Cookie and get poppin', and we still have the ability to flip 2 cards face down and Nibiru. So Cookie Pop, Nibiru, and flip 2 cards face down. That's the Fusion, which we randomly had Gem Knight Fusion to discard from the hand to make this a play. You cannot fuse with the deck without Gem Knight Fusion Engrave. And once this hits the field, something has happened. 2 things have happened. This is now activatable to negate Nibiru, or Snatchy, or Cookie, and this is actually going to be beneficial. During your turn, when Snatchy activates, you could banish a Gem Knight to destroy the Snatchy. Snatchy's now pinned down like a Little Knight play. What the heck? This is rarely relevant. It's only during your turn. Lollipo, get rid of the negate. Is this the Rose Diamond Pop or what? Yeah. Yes, it is. Linkuriboh? Huh? Not Snatchy? Did we misclick? The Fiend. Is there something I'm not seeing? I'm not seeing what you're seeing. I mean, they still synchro actually, so I guess that is worth noting. Because of that, should we have popped? I mean, if we popped the Lollipo instead, I guess was a possible option, right? The Kuriboh is scary. If we was popping the Lollipo the play, what do you think? Gaming with Alpha thinks so. That's what I was thinking. Pop Lollipo because otherwise it does not have to synchro with itself. That's the main point here. Wait, were we even activating a synchro? We weren't even supposed to pop. He was just playing the field spell. This is only, is this not once per turn? During your turn when your opponent activates, pop. Where does it say it's only once per turn? Oh my gosh. Huh? Just keep on doing it? It's not. We popping all day, every day. Damn, that's so good. Against Yummy. All right, all right. Now, on the opponent's turn, it's no good. It's now turned off. It doesn't have the infinite pop per Gem Knight in the graveyard. Completely removed. So I guess it was okay then to... You pop Lollipo, he chains to you popping Lollipo, and then you chain pop the Lollipo again. So I guess you pop Snatchy, then Snatchy chains to being popped, then you chain pop the Lollipo, right? So Lollipo gets destroyed, Snatchy gets destroyed, and that was the actual correct play. So we should have targeted the Snatchy. All right. We have Sulfachord Coolia, which is able to negate anything. We also have the Sulfagia, which is if a monster activates on the field and you control a Grand Sulfachord, you could then negate that effect by destroying this card. This was not fun when I was playtesting Sky Striker. I was quite pissed. What the hell? Lethal damage. Well done. All right. No, he shouldn't have targeted the Lolly because Snatchy doesn't need to use itself. Okay, so this is what I'm saying. Let's put this to rest right here, right now. Ready? Snatchy activates to play field spell. We chain, pop, Lollipo, which is what you were saying, right? He then chain links, synchros, but then now you have to pop the Lollipo twice. Or Snatchy activates to play field spell. We chain to pop Snatchy. Snatchy activates a synchro. Then we chain to pop Lollipo. What happens? Lollipo dies, Snatchy dies. In the other scenario, only Lollipo dies because you have to pop the Lollipo twice. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Am I right or am I right? Mad Love, grabbing the Vanquish Soul start. Let's start it up. Chain Max C, sure. We're waiting on the shifter. As soon as a card touches our graveyard, the shifter will be illegal. So because of that, we're just gonna wait on the opponent's turn. Wait it. Now this is quite smart. If you shifter on your own turn, you then can't Max C on the opponent's turn. But in this case, we could shifter chain Max C. But you run the risk that now they could finger your shifter. Well, no finger in sight. It worked out. Didn't chain Max C. He's saving it as an Earth attribute. It's an Earth. I don't want to get rid of an Earth. Are you out of your mind? Now we're going to cope that we could survive with just an Impulse. Imposing, Jokul, you gotta do that. Holy moly, I just got done telling you how you can't Ash the Jokul. Jokul plays through it, plays through Droll, plays through Ash. But it looks like it's not enough. Speed it up. Got shifted. Damn. Damn. Toxic card taking out toxic deck. Now, again, I don't blame the player. I blame the game. I played Lunalight recently. I enjoyed the deck. If a developer's going to allow me to be toxic, then I'm going to be toxic. Let's go. So imagine you see Lunalight in casual, right? All of you would leave. You wouldn't even think twice about it. You know it. If someone tried to have a friendly duel with you IRL and they whip out their Lunalight deck, you won't even say it. You're just going to stand up and walk away. That's it. Speed this up. Turn Masquerade back. Reborn. Martin. We have our Holly Sue. Your Martin is mine. Masquerade with our Kaleido Chick. We're going to be dumping into the graveyard a Saber Dancer. As now, the Caesar Valius with not enough attributes to non-target pop a card in the field. Denied from being able to summon a Liger. Maybach, what the heck happened? Ash and Holly Sue yoink. And then game one, we got Dimension Shifted. We tried our best. Nash is here. Can we survive to the next turn? Heavy Poly could be an instant win. We have to have enough life points, though. There's got to be bodies on their field. And if there's enough bodies in the field to use the Heavy Poly, then we probably don't have enough life points to even use this. Umbral Horror is going to force out the Forbidden Droplet. Negate. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but if you know you're playing against K9, you probably want to make sure you don't have two cards in your hand so that they can't normal summon a Naroi, or even normal summon the Azuna. Rip it up. Rip, searching for the case for K9, Naroi. That's what I said. I don't think this is why we're going to lose, but something to think about. Set your hand. But then it gets Umbral Horde. I know, but then they can't normal summon this. Drax, no. Do not do that again. 2-0. Let's go to top four. Immediately, Azuna's turned on. She's ready. Uh-oh. When does she want to get sucking? And run a Droll. Droll and Azuna. Now, Azuna's thinking, how about I just deny the Gilgamesh summon? No Gilgamesh for you. Let's yoink the body. The Kepler couldn't search for another card to then special summon. Give him that good suck. Come to me, the Surveyor. Now we're going to activate Ragnarok. We're going to Pendulum Summon. But with this Pendulum Summon, we can't go into a Gilgamesh because now we have cards in our Pendulum Scales. We lose out on that play. We're going to Reborn back the Necro Slime. Corpinicus going to send from the deck the Lancer, that is. We now Gilgamesh without effects, go straight into the Ragnarok. Ragnarok cannot negate anything since we don't have a Dark Contract in grave. We're going to banish in the grave to Fusion Summon. Fusing into the Alfred. Return back to further fuse into the Genghis. Now with this, we have the Wave King Caesar. Further turning this into the Machine X. It's sad, but Machine X has no effect. No suck, no play. We only have Wave King Caesar double special summon negate. That's it. Now, can we stop the Nash Knight play? I mean, Nash Knight could just simply suck him up. That's going to be an issue. But we already sucked. And then we're going to be losing out on the Umbral Horror play. If he were to go through the Chaos Nash Knight, we could negate this. It's not looking good for Triple D. Get sucking. We lose out. Okay, never mind. We do have the Umbral Horror still. Or no. I was correct. We lose out on the Umbral Horror. So what are you saying in the chat that he definitely can? I was correct. Holly Sue, come to me. And were you saying that he could suck with Machine X? How? How are you sucking? What are you doing, mate? What kind of cheat are you pulling off? This ain't the TCG. What are you doing? Caesar, Valius, come forth. Jokal, reveal. Let's get to it. Ozuna, Holly Sue, take control. 10,000 damage, exactly what I said happened. Finish him. Yeah, get your exclusive plays out of here, mate. This could be quite detrimental for Vanquish Soul Canine. Let's see. And against Yummy, Yummy can't synchro. Against Draco Tail, they can't fuse with cards on the field, but they could still fuse with the hand. Let's speed on through the play. Dark Contract, grab our Griffin. Griffin special summon. Let's link 2 into Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh, we got Queen and Ragnarok, Pendulum Summon. Discard the Dark Contract, King Solomon. Detach, searching our deck for the Surveyor. Further, King Talon. King Talon is going to be our Foolish Burial once we link it off. There's our link 3, ready to negate any potential hand trap. Now, what's this doing in the graveyard? It is allowing us to negate Holly Sue. You waited? Too late now. Can't summon her. I forgot what card recycles back the contracts. I think it's Alfred, right? If this card is banished, you could target your Dark Contract to then play it back onto the field. So if we had a way to banish it, that would be the play, which would be the Ragnarok. If they activate a monster in the hand, banish the Alfred, and then play the Floodgate on the field. So we still have that as a potential play on top of this. So we got the Floodgate. We have the Ragnarok negate something in the hand. We have doubles, King Caesar negate special summon, Siegfried negate a spell and trap card. We could suck, like suck 3 freaking times. We have Impulse. We have about 9 disruptions. Oh my Jesus. Let's go. Look at me. I am the top tier now. What is this Quantum Red Layer Cope? All because you lost 1 Stake Your Soul. We're now playing this and the Infernoble equip card. Negate the Holly Sue. With not the Ragnarok, so we couldn't set up the trap. We're using Wave King Caesar. We're saving Ragnarok for something else. Why are we saving Ragnarok? What else would we negate? We're gonna Rock of the Vanquisher, Machine X, suck him up. Come to me. I guess, you know, the benefit is with the Wave King Caesar, you're actually destroying the card where the Ragnarok just keeps it in hand. And if you want to delete the attribute from the hand, that would be the play. Oh my Jesus. What's the hell? Oh my. I feel like we should have, even though they keep the attribute in hand, maybe he didn't know about the play that I was thinking. Wipe the field. Because we could have prevented this. Had we banished the Alfred, double wipe the field. Wave King Caesar search. Yeah, what do you think? J78, did you see the play that I was thinking of or what? It's okay, there's a Typhon. Plan L. Not an issue. Limited to 1 Stake Your Soul is here. You could argue that it still worked out by just deleting the attribute from the hand instead of banishing Alfred to set up the continuous trap. Dark Contract. Griffin is here. Pop at the Lance Soldier. Reborn. Gilgamesh. Double Pendulum Scale from the deck. Pendulum Summon. Reborn, the Siegfried. Tribute off to Banish, by the way. 8,000 damage. Very well done. 1 in 1. Well done. Well done. That Zeus is pretty good, though. Commendable Zeus. Let's go. Aurelia. That's great. Draw for the Neroi, draw for the Vanquish Soul, summon from the hand, draw for the Jokal, draw for the Vanquish Soul Link 1, summoning from the hand. Lupus, Ripper, they're probably gonna end on a minimal play here. Oh, Shifter. That is dirty. Land Soldier interacts with the graveyard. We have the King Tail wants to dump a card. The Necro Slime wants to be in the graveyard. This searches for Lava Golem if you need it, but more importantly, searches for the Queen. Dark Contract, under the effect of Shifter, what can we do as he's going to non-target pop away the Dark Contract to the gate, as we now have Werewolf in response to the activation of a card to then look at her hand and banish a card. This is it. Dark Spirit Mastery for the Queen. With the Queen, we're going to grab the Doom, set this first, so, we'll use it on the next turn. Pop the Queen, summon Surveyor. Surveyor, search our deck for Copernicus. We already used up our normal summon. As we now link it up into Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh. Now, what really sucks is even our Pendulum cards are not going to the extra deck. They're getting banished instead. Copernicus is gone. As we set up our new Pendulum Scales, we now have Machine X. Not big enough to swing over the Werewolf, but now it is. Thanks to the Griffin, but boosting it up. What we're left with is very simply a Droll, a Suck. A Suck, it's a non-target Suck, does not negate, has to be a monster effect on the field and directly chained to it. It can be chain link blocked, and a Finger. 4. Is this a big deal that we have 2 cards in hand that can now normal summon a Noroi? Oh boy. Special summon, normal Droll and Lockbird. This is an interesting block on, we're trying to pin down the Machine X. So when he tries to get sucking, we just chain banish. It works. The monster is gonna stay on the field. No sucky for you. What do? Double suck, down to nothing. And this is a play I really want to emphasize and highlight. It's not about trading disruption, forcing disruption. It's just creating a pin. You could do this against Yummy. If you could just make a little knight, then make other plays, the Snatchy can't activate. It can sync her with other cards, but normally there's not gonna be another link 1, and then you just chain banish. As you're gonna see right here. Create the pin, and then make another play. That is the way. Beautifully done from Drex. And he still had to pop his own contract, which sucks. No suck, but has to pop. Then we have the Umbral Horror. You have this card that you were saving. We're going to call up the grave, banish away the Azuna. Since he didn't activate anything in the hand or graveyard, we can't do any other play with that. No Lupus Reborn, no Chain Azuna Summon from the hand. That call by the grave was so important to stop the Jokel from being reborn with the Lantern. How is this lethal damage? He did activate something in the hand or grave because the Canine boosted up the fields. He drolled, right? Was he under a droll? I forgot. Something was activated. Yeah, droll. Droll boosted this up. There we go. Plus 900 attack onto all of your Canines. It's a huge boost. Sulfur Cord Happiness. No Ash. No Droll. Just Nibiru. Do the Sulfur Cord Happiness play inherently play around Nibiru? Let's find out. We have our Masquerina. As we set this up. Boy, does this hurts. This is a big Nibiru. This is a very bad Nibiru. Good for Abdullah, bad for Hipster. This is insane. It's crazy. And it's not that Hipster played incorrectly. I've looked at a lot of Sulfur Cord Yummy guides, and they recommend getting to this point, getting Nibiru. I even saw TCG videos where I'm like, what the heck? They don't even mention that you get Nibiru, and I'm like, that's 5 summons. How are you not going to even bring up the point that you get clapped up by this? Get him. Got him. 20% usage rate indeed. Yeah, but this is a new meta. It's post-ban list. And I think Nibiru is going to rise. Arise, Nibiru. If rogue decks are going to become more prevalent, then Nibiru is going to become more prevalent. So we had a random Yummy in the hand to play through this. Otherwise, what? We would have ended our turn? Only plays through, you need Happiness and a Yummy in hand or you lose? We got our Herald of Arclight against Crystron. This is going to be quite devastating. All the Crystron cards want to be in the graveyard. Only from the deck and hand will they be banished instead. Now for Sulfaneer, is this even a legally summonable card here? If this card's in your hand, you discard a Crystron card. So you discard the Crystron card. If it's a monster, it will get banished. You special summon this. You then destroy a card you control. If this is destroyed, you could then, I guess it gets banished and still activates a summon from the deck. It's still activatable. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't say it has to go to the graveyard. Untargetable Herald of Arclight. Now, Ash, Arclight, Floodgate, and Negate. I'm just going to conjoin it into one. We're going to be able to banish the Little Knight. I don't think we have another... can Masquerena go into another disruption after we already used the Little Knight? We are on Fancy Ball. So Fancy Ball with the Sprite Elf. We could then pop with the Acro, pop with the Cookie. We could return back with the Surprise. We could flip down with the Cookie Synchro. 8 disruptions, and you could even say 9 if you want to split up the Herald of Arclight into being a Floodgate and a disruption. Let's just do that. 9 disruption. No way we're breaking this. We're going to Millennium. Millennium is really good at breaking boards. It's going to use up some forms of disruption here. Cupsy will randomly draw into potentially a hand trap. Draw. He did. He got 10 disruption now. He drew into the arc light, the orange light. Ash negate. So we went from 9 disruption to 10 disruption back to 9 disruption. This is activatable under arc light, right? It shouldn't be. It's not. It's not. It actually isn't. The arc light's preventing this from activating. Great. Link Karibo at the start of the battle phase to protect the Arc Light. And we're going to Little Knight, banish away the Jokel in main phase 2. We have the Masquerena going into the Fancy Ball. We now have a Negates if on field during graveyard and banish. Azuna's here. We're going to use the Yummy Surprise, so that was a form of disruption. I was counting to return cards back. We lost out on that. Add back the Surprise. Got him. Got him. Dump Lupus if you want to. Lupus is going to get banished. Let's begin. Activate Jokel. Now, to keep it real with game 1, Hipster lost to Nibiru. He did. He lost. He had to chain Max C, and only off of the draw 2 was he able to play through it. But nonetheless, he did end up on 9 and 10 disruption, but blown out by Nibiru. Negate the Jokel with Orange Light Mate. All right. Negate a monster, discard a card, negate from the hand, negate anything, negate a spell and trap, pop a card on the field, pop a card again on the field, non-target, banish a card from the hand or pop another card on the field. We have Azuna and Lupus. I don't think we have a rank 5 play within. We could Jax. Jax pop another card. Oh my Jesus. Negate. Not today, mate. You are not ruining game 3. I don't think so. There we go. See? No Azuna activatable. Oh, you Ash, though. You Ash Max C. That, oh my gosh. Yep. Shoot. Maxi still ruined the duel. That's Max C ruining the duel. Wait, we're not Vanquishal Canine, so we don't... Wait, what? Jax instead of Nash? If your opponent activates a monster in the hand or graveyard, you could then pop a card on the field? What? What? What the... Yeah, on its summon, of course, but he didn't do it on summon, so I'm only reading the relevant part of now we have to wait for hand or grave to activate it because we passed on summon. Is he making a plan for werewolf or something? He wants like a full werewolf boost or I don't... Would you make Ripper instead? Jackson do nothing instead of Ripper? This is like a Zeus, right? We want a Zeus the fields? I think, but he doesn't play Zeus. He's not even on Zeus. He has an untargetable Jax right now. Just a vanilla 26. Interesting. Very interesting. Nash Knight does not trigger the Acro. Do you know that? I don't know if you know that, because he's saying, because the point is, why did we summon Jax then go, hold up, the field spell would trigger. If you Nash Knight, the field spell doesn't trigger. You know, if you Xyz with a Tengu, it does not freaking trigger. That'd be insane, right? Absolute zero trigger. They're not leaving the fields. And you become an Xyz material. This would not work. In fact, in one of my TCG YCS videos, they tried to do that. And actually, they successfully did it incorrectly. And I think it possibly won them the duel incorrectly, as the judges didn't know. Lollipo, Club of the Grave, Finger, the Fool, get that Herald of Arclight out of here. Now, we still have the Jax being untargetable at the moment. Negate, pop away the Linkuriboh mate. A Crow is now triggering, some for the deck. With the untargetable Jax, wipe away the Little Knight. Azuna activate to dump a Lupus from the deck, which there's no longer an Arc Light to ensure that it gets banished instead. All right, Azuna, Cup to draw a card. Lupus is under our Xyz material, so it's not that we're dumping it from the deck. We're gonna make a Little Knight. Get that Acro out of here. Chain the Snatchy, chain banish. I said this earlier. Little Knight pins down Snatchy. That's the way. There you go. We already used this effect, because otherwise we could chain Reborn it, and then it would perform the Synchro. Interesting duel we have here. Dump from the deck with Sulfador. I'm so perplexed by that Jax summon, and we're now winning the duel nonetheless? What the heck happened? What is going on? How are we in a winning position? Crystron Olesk. Add back the Banished Smiger. We already used up our normal summon. Tristaros pop. Get 3 bodies in the field, 2 from the deck, 1 from the grave or banishment. Holy moly. We're building our field on main phase 2. This is the way. Cyber Dragon Infinity has nothing to suck up. It has to be in attack position. Reborn the Lupus. If not Xyz summon, Lupus will get banished. See, you want to cheat that mechanic. And you could just simply wait. I guess we're going to wait on their turn to go into a Nash Knight, possibly. Interesting. All right. So I think there was a lot of confusion because there was some arguing over the Jax on whether it was the correct play, wrong play, the Acro, what triggers and not triggers. But you understand, if we Nash Knighted, we suck up, then the field spell would not have triggered. Now, we're beyond that. We have Lupus will activate the Synchro to go into the Nash Knight to suck. Could pop with the Cluster. Could summon for the deck and then perform a Synchro into a Dragster. We could Little Knight, Chain Banish. We could Infinity, negate anything. 5 Disruption. We good? We're great? Let's go. Am I missing anything? Are we good? Everything's okay now? Now, Cluster could pop too if you control a Crystron Synchro. We do not. Little Knight's going to Chain Banish to the Linkuriboh as we are trying to use this onto the Snatchy as he chain summons the Linkuriboh. Ult in the draw phase, by the way. Turn back. Pop the Snatchy successfully. Lupus right away into the Nash Knight. Now, can we get sucking right away? No. Hipster has to give consent to the suck. He has to pass priority or he has to make a play, which means we could go right away into a synchro before he gets sucking. That's it. He can now suck. As soon as he summoned Lollipo, the suck was turned on. Tristaros going to chain some for the deck. We're going to non-target suck to the cookie, flipping cards face down. Oh my goodness. The Yummy Surprise, normally only used when you have a Snatchy to dodge it, returning your own cards back to your hand. Now, has Cyber Dragon Infinity activated yet? No. Is it being targeted to be flipped face down? Yes. So Infinity would have to negate this or get flipped face down, but if you negate it, we're gonna chain Cookie Reborn what from the graveyard. I feel like this is bait. We're not supposed to negate. We're supposed to let this go through. I think Hipster is trying to trick you and he's gonna laugh at you if you activate. Is it a laughable scenario though? Are we getting tricked? Should we do this? What do you think, chat? Does he negate with Infinity, then chain the cookie to dodge him being returned back? He did it. He did it. What was he protecting here? What's the ramifications? He was protecting Tristaros. So the Tristaros now has to be meaningful. If Tristaros is not meaningful, you for free allowed Cookie to reborn 2 other bodies from the graveyard. It's a very complicated scenario. Thank you. Now Snatchy is gonna, I should not Snatchy, but Nash Knight's gonna be maybe snatching up the Snatchy. Now, you would think Snatchy triggers on special summon. You're right and you're wrong, and so does Marshmallow. But whatever we suck up will not trigger. Negated Surprise, sucking the Marshmallow. And Tristaros we protected. So the trade here was, I get to have a Dragster and you get to have a Snatchy. Deal? And also another body. Had we, I guess we would have had to suck up our own card, huh? Right? Or we choose that on the resolution. Yeah, we didn't have to suck up. There would be nothing to suck up. And the Lollipo would be in hand. Cupsy, get searching. Was Dragster worth this being summonable? Weren't we completely denying this play? All he would have is a Lollipo in hand. I guess the Lollipo could then go into the Minion field spell and then reborn. Because there would still be a Snatch in the extra deck, right? A lot of things to consider here. Now, we got Surprise, we're ready, we're waiting. The Nash Knight is now activatable only within the main phase. We're sucking right now. Non-target suckage. We're gonna chain Cupsy, but we're not done. We're also gonna chain Surprise is not returning Nash Knight. Nash Knight sucks up nothing if you try to return it back. Now, Little Knight is also pinning down the Snatchy from even being activatable. And so is the Cluster. This is a really crazy, highly technical duel of you chain, I stop you, you stop me, no suck, no synchro, you get popped, you get banished. And then also having to be directly chained to your effect to ensure I can reborn from the graveyard. Take one of the Snatchies. Now, if Snatchy were limited to 1, that would be it. One of Snatchy. Snatchy's limited to 1 in TCG and OCG. Very likely a future hit for Yummy. Lupus banished since it was summoned through the effect of a synchro, not returned back on the deck. Sulfaneer, discard, reborn, pop the inclusion. Inclusion is not triggering, it's just activating its ignition effect to reborn the Sulfador. We're gonna chain Snatchy, Little Knight pinning down Snatchy as the Nash Knight sucked up the other one. But the dreaded Link Karibo, this counters the pin. You can't pin me down. I still get the synchro with the Linkuriboh. Insane. And I want you to understand the nuance to this, that you may be thinking to get Linkuriboh out early. If you do that, Cluster could chain pop Linkuriboh. So you would have Little Knight banish Snatchy, Cluster pop Linkuriboh, and then they don't synchro. But by keeping the Linkuriboh in graveyard, you only bring it out in response to Snatchy synchroing to insulate, give us protection from the Little Knight pinning down the Snatchy. There we go. Very nice. And now the Cluster just couldn't stop it. Linkuriboh really putting in work, and now we get that double flip down by keeping the Linkuriboh in graveyard, activating Cluster, not in response to the Linkuriboh to take out a card, now being able to chain to the Cluster to Reborn. Am I crazy to say that I think someone's low on time? I sense some panic. I'm sensing panic possibly from Abdullah. Is he panicking? Is he low on time? You think both of them are low? Pop the Smiger, Reborn the Sulfador. Did Sulfador have nothing to send from the deck? It's up to 2. So now we possibly just passed on a trigger effect. We quickly attacked and then ended our turn. He's got to be low. Now he gains time. No Snatchy, by the way. Snatchy's back. Did Abdullah mess up by not Cluster popping the Snatchy? But then I guess the Snatchy would be rebornable at the Synchros, so maybe banishing it for the turn was still better. Cookie Perma Reduce. Let's reborn back the Marshmallow. Grab back the Yummy Surprise. With our Surprise, we're going to return 2 cards from the field back, forcing the Little Knight to be in response to the Surprise so it could not stop the Snatchy from synchroing, which we still have Linkuriboh in graveyard to chain around that. I've never seen Linkuriboh be this good before in Yummy. It is really insane. It protects from Cluster, it protects from Little Knight, putting in so much work. Cupsy searching for 2, then discard. Get rid of that orange light. End the turn? Hipster, are you low on time or are you out of juice? What the heck is going on? If we have to go straight to battle phase and not activate anything. What the heck? I mean, we're going to Linkuriboh at least reborn at the start of the battle phase. Reborn back. And then we have enough attacks. Just don't activate anything. Oh my goodness. Cluster, wipe the final monster, and then attack for game on turn 6. 2-1 victory. Played so well with Linkuriboh dodging the Cluster, dodging the Little Knight and Cluster continually pressuring the Snatchy. Snatchy got sucked up by the Nash Knight. Damn, that really was a duel. Was this the same duel we summoned a Jax on? Begin in the grand finale. Fool loss right away. Now, most people say that Fool loss is not enough to ruin a duel. They say Droll ruins a duel. They say Max C ruins a duel. In fact, thanks to your Fool loss, I get to special the Azuna and the Lupus, and then my Ripper's going to, for free, get to set from the deck a Force Release, giving an additional double disrupt. Now, who's got the upper hand here? Drex can prevent the Xyz summon. If we allow him to summon Ripper, Ripper would negate Azuna or negate Lupus. So right here, right now, we're gonna make this play. But the question is it correct to use Nash Knight or just wait? Is 2 for 1 better than 2? If you suck up 1 card, how likely is it that they're gonna summon another level 5? It's probably quite likely. So if we go through the motions of what can he even Xyz into? If he goes into a Jax, okay, we go 1 for 1, but you lost 2 of your bodies still. You go into a Ripper, okay, I'm gonna suck up Ripper. You go into Nash Knight, okay, well, the Nash Knights pin each other down. The first Nash Knight to activate's gonna lose. So what do you really do? You know, let's see. He waited. He waited. We got the Nash Knight versus Nash Knight. 2 for 1. There you go. So that big buildup is for any of you that maybe would have given him the good suck early. And unfortunately, even though he forced out 2 of those level 5s to be used up into a rank 5 that gets pinned down by our Nash Knight, he was still able to spit out 2 other level 5s. Jokel search, Smiger, banish a search for the cluster. Oh man, K9 is so good, isn't it? K9 is nuts. Is this activatable? The Holly Sue can take control by revealing an Earth and Dark. You activated first, I activate second. What happens if you no longer exist on the fields? Well, you then don't suck up anything. Nothing goes to the graveyard, nothing gets sucked up, obviously. But now we have a Tristaro situation where maybe we want to suck up something else. You thought you got me. You did not. I have Cluster to pop your Nash Knight, so your Nash Knight can't suck up my Nash Knight. Holly Sue can now take control of who? The lowest attack, your Tristaros. You now can't synchro with whatever you summon from the deck into a Dragster. This is good Yu-Gi-Oh! This is interaction. This is why Solemn's got limited, because they just cut off the chain link right then and there. That's why Floodgates aren't good. This is why too much disruption turn 1 isn't good. In fact, Fool Loss, I would say, forced out a good duel. Ripper, search in, grab the case for K9. In general, Fool Loss, ideally Fool Loss doesn't exist, and just what the fields that people make under Fool Loss is just what they make at the ceiling. I think that would be perfect Yu-Gi-Oh! Now, this, many believe, or just Decade says, this is better than Tenpai. How could this be better than Tenpai? We're gonna non-target pop a card in the field, and the Jack says, the turn in which the opponent activated a monster effect from the hand or graveyard, any battle damage is doubled, and Werewolf has the ability, per material, we have 3, attack, 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 double damage if they activated something from the hand or grave. Wipe it out, triple attack. It's over, right? That's it. This is like, attack 1, attack 2, and you're done. It doesn't even have to attack into monsters. It can attack directly. He just stopped in case he were to maybe summon something. I don't know. I'm conflicted. Did Fool Loss in this duel, or did it make it better? What do y'all think? Fool right away. Well, is Abdullah going to droll himself? Is that even a real thing? Do we hold the droll for Drex's turn, or what? Millennium summon for the back row. Fua does nothing, obviously, as we now grab the Golem. Golem was limited to 1. In today's event, not limited to 1, obviously. We have the Doom Dragon special summon, and now we are drawing. Wait, we drolled. I wasn't paying attention. I clicked on the Golem when exactly he freaking drolled. So droll, locked out, zombie vampire, mill 4 cards off the top of each player's deck, special Naroi, reborn the Sulfaneer. Let's make our best play under the Fua. A whole 3 negates. 3 disruptions, mate, that is, plus a Nibiru. Pop a card, banish a card, negate anything, plus Nibiru the field. 4 total disruption. 1 non-engine disruption. Reinforce our hand, which we could have hit him with the droll right there. We had to droll our own hand, our own turn, that is. Mad Love, plus we're going to do the return back the lowest defense on field, which happens to be the Infinity. Little Knight, chain, banish away the Mad Love to ensure the Caesar Valius does not get to summon onto the fields. Well done. Goodbye to the Infinity. And, wait, no, we negated. We were negating it, so we protect it from being returned back. We just have the Cluster and the Nibiru. Jokel and the Jiaolong. We're gonna pop you right here, right now, before he activates the search for a card. Why would I pop you? So you don't search Lantern. And you freaking have Lantern, which is a 1 of in your deck. right? They're not playing more than one. I just got to pause this because we just got Nibiru and I missed it. Vanquisol Canine. We have, yeah, one of card in the hand, just like that. And we chose Nibiru the field on resolution of the Lantern because, of course, what was he going to do? Jokel would search, Lantern would search, and we would also make a Ripper to negate the Nibiru. That is too much of a big deal. We had to use all 4 disruptions. Nibiru, tribute it all off, wipe it up. Let's go. He didn't search Lantern. Did he search Lantern? Did he search it? The Canine searched it. He revealed he had Lantern, then made his plays. He did actually have it. He searched first, then activated Jokel to summon something else. Why would he, yeah, that's kind of a weird play order. Okay, so to be fair, I guess because it didn't make sense in my head that he would search Lantern first, then activate Jokel. I guess maybe he was trying to bait something. He was trying to bait the cluster, and he wouldn't use it. Okay, I guess that makes sense. Bait the cluster. Smyger Banish, grab the inclusion, and let's include it up. The Caesar's not going to be good because we don't have enough attributes to pop a card in the fields. Abdullah's winning after getting Fool Lost and self-drolling himself, severely restricting his power ceiling of his turn 1 end board, and also losing Droll. We minus the Droll disruption and reduce our own power, and yet we're still coming out on top. Jax on, summon, pop away the monster, 9,400 damage, Sulfador reborn by popping a Crystron card in the field, Inclusion further reborning the Tristaros. Damn. If a deck could make meaningful plays under Droll, that gains a lot of points in my book. I like that a lot. And that's what I've been loving with Magnets. That's what I've been hating with Heroes. When I'm playing Heroes, I get Drolled. There are Droll lines, but they're still not that good. You could end on an Anaconda and a Mass Change. But damn, good job to Crystron there. Holly Sue, activate, immediately turning on the Azuna. When do we Azuna? When do we do it? The problem is the Holly Sue can take control. So we turn on Azuna while also countering the Azuna. And can Drex summon a Ripper before the Nibiru is turned on? Azuna send, Lupus Reborn. I'm gonna take you right here, right now, and then turn you into a Ripper. Rip Nibiru. Oh, no, we're going into Raisin. Oh, this is scary. We don't have a rank 5 play to play around Nibiru. That dude in the that one guy in the chat representing the entire chat saying Nibiru's gonna win this tournament. Orga reveal, draw 1. And now we're in the Nibiru zone. Little Knight is going to, we're going to be adding with the Holly Sue and the turn right back to you. No Nibiru, because we don't want to be wasting up our thing. Let's go right into a Ripper. Holly Sue in response to the Ripper. Holding on to the Rip. Reveal, take the Ripper. What the rip is going on? What is going on? I'm like kind of confused. I know I'm getting older, but what? We make Ripper, activates Holly Sue, and maybe he thinks he doesn't have the attributes to steal because he didn't steal on the previous turn? What happened? What happened? Abdullah, what happened? Do you want to say something? Now we're getting Drolled. That is insane to take a Ripper and the Ripper's activatable. That's not even his Ripper. Do you see this blue tint? You see how it's red? Red, blue. The blue on the red field is activating to negate. Okay, Abdullah says, I want to play around another hand trap because I know about 3 cards but didn't know about the Earth. So it is what I initially said. He felt that he did not have an Earth. He was mentally tracking the attributes. And do you agree that maybe Holly Sue would have taken control of you if he did have that Earth, but he didn't, right? Instead of summoning from the deck, because maybe you're thinking he had the perfect play to play around Nibiru to make his own Ripper, but he didn't do that, and he would have done that, thus it means he doesn't have Earth for the next turn. I believe that's the mindset. Sometimes you outbrain yourself. You have the correct line of thinking. You're not just going through the lines, through the combos, through the memorizations. You're actually trying to predict what's in their hand. All right, Naroi, come forth. He activated the Holly Sue before. What are you talking about, bro? What? To summon Holly Sue, it's main phase only. What are you trying to say? Force, release. Yeah, so let's go back to on this, okay? Because I think there's a lot of fighting. If I negate Holly Sue, then Vanquish, Rock the Vanquisher can summon Holly Sue and still take control of Ripper. Do we agree on that, right? Is that still a play? That still happens, okay? Take control, right? Special summon. Now we can Nibiru on our own turn. Werewolf, banish the Nibiru, but not prevent the Nibiru. Add from the graveyard as we're now going to tribute off the entire field. Wait. Wrong turn. It's only on the other turn. It's the opponent. Banish. It's on their turn. Wrong turn. We're only able to banish. We're not able to look at the hand. Tribute off the entire field. I don't know how. I see in my peripheral a giant Nibiru in chat. We're going to grab a Jiao Long, special summon. 10,000? Bro, change the battle position of a 10,000 token. Jiao Long, reveal fire, put the 10,000 into attack. What? That is crazy. Jiao Long MVP. Yeah. I think there was a lot of confusion in this duel because I was thinking, all right, a Nibiru's coming, then the Nibiru didn't come out. He didn't play around Nibiru. Then he was also holding on to the Lupus. So, you know, there was a lot of mind gaming going on here and holding on to Nibiru and not using it and protecting our own field. And then we had the situation where we main phase 1, right into a Ripper, activate the Holly Sue, not negate, but then if he did negate, he then can't negate another hand trap. It was only worth negating if he would have the take control, but he would still be able to special summon and take control regardless. So a lot of back and forth and confusion on that. I think we're good though, yes. And Nibiru token into attack for game, loving it. Replay the duel, I could do ×2 just for outside the thing, sure. All right, Holly, reveal, search, reveal, Borger. So it's at this moment we know he cannot take control. He has no Earth. And Abdullah has that information. There's no Earth. There's no Earth. Because otherwise he could take control and make a Ripper. Bro randomly drew into an Earth. What the heck? After already summoning the Raisin. So I think Abdullah is thinking if taking control possibly was a really good play that he would have done that and not randomly drawn to an Earth. So at this point, we see in the lingering effects window, we're not under a Full Loss or a Max C or anything crazy here. We already used up our normal summon. And we add back the Holly Sue. So He does not want the Nibiru. We have Little Knight to chain banish. Little Knight is also pinning down the Lupus. I talked about this with pinning down. So he rushed out a Little Knight. And now Lupus is in this scenario where he can't really activate. If he activates, he gets banished. Now, you have to understand here that if Little Knight banishes Lupus, Lupus comes back in the end phase. It's not a big deal, right? Wrong. Lupus is gone for good. You don't even want to force it. Lupus gets banished by its own card effect, does not come back, so it's a really bad idea to then get Lupus get banished by Little Knight. You don't do that. And then he goes into the Ripper, he activates Holly Sue, and he's thinking, what can Holly Sue do? If he had an Earth, or he probably would have maybe taken control on the previous turn. No new cards were added except the random Borger, draw 1. And if he activates a summon from the deck, he can't really force out my Ripper because I guess if he summons a Caesar, then uses Borger to return back, but Borger's gone, so Borger's in grave. He would have to add back the Borger and then summon the Caesar, and then Borger return Holly Sue back, and then I guess that's when the Caesar is going to be stopping the Ripper from even being activatable. And then he would maybe have to consider negating the Borger instead. But then he ends up taking control, and it's like, holy crap. I wanted the Ripper to negate something like Adril and Lockbird. So it was just this scenario where he negates Holly Sue, and then Rock of the Vanquisher summons Holly Sue anyway. Yeah, and then we would want to stop the Droll. His idea was Ripper stop Droll, and hopefully Holly Sue can't force out my Ripper. He took a gamble. And a lot of you keep saying how nasty Droll is. Droll ends duels. Droll is an auto win in many scenarios. He tried to stop that. He tried his best. The Little Knight pinning the Lupus was also very good. And not only did it pin the Lupus, it also got to banish the Noroi. And then Jokul couldn't search for anything. So I think Drex shotgunning out a Little Knight was insanely smart. A lot of people think of Little Knights not even an option to summon if it's not going to banish on summon, right? A lot of you want to get the full value of Little Knight. Who does this? Who puts a non-extra deck monster in a Little Knight? Well, Drex does for that very purpose of pinning the Lupus and then having that great disruption on the very next turn. So this was definitely a choice, a big choice, that a lot of people, I believe, would have not even thought about doing. And it messed things up for Abdullah. And then we go from there. And Abdullah says, I win. I still win this duel. But then he top decks the case. So that's another aspect of this match. I still win, regardless of all the other nonsense that happened. Him randomly drawing into an Earth off of the Borger, but the freaking case. There you go. Nibiru up the fields. And then, as that one dude said, Nibiru would win the duel. He just didn't specify exactly how. As we change the token into attack. Oh my goodness. Happy to see that again. Nuts. Very well done. Meta Weekly. I don't remember this many Radiant Typhoon in the top 16. Is this correct? Did we see this much Radiant Typhoon in the tournament? What? Am I out of my mind? This is correct, right? There was this much Radiant Typhoon and I wasn't even thinking about it. I feel like I didn't cast that much of Radiant Typhoon. I remembered only like one, right? There was Gold Pride. I do remember that. Okay. Well, welcome to the Rogue meta. At least that's what we're hoping and coping that this is. Let's check out the deck list here. And again, this is going to take at least 2 weeks of tournaments, community tournaments, at least 2 meta weeklies to really figure out what the heck is going on. And then we have the new pack in 2 weeks also. So once we kind of figure things out, it's going to be dumped on its head again with the new pack. Gold Pride. Aban EG. Good job to you. Draco. The one. Draco Tail's a rogue deck. No, I'm sure it's still very good top tier. 1 Lucius, 1 Rahu. Still got the 2 branded fusion though. Good job, Rixia. Blue Eyes. The Muffin Man Sir. All right. New Blue Eye support coming soon. Not really soon, maybe next year. Yusuf with Pure Fire Kings. Very nice. Lunalight. Maybach. Double Heavy Poly. Gem Knights. The Fiend. Here's the main deck. Here's the extra deck. Here's it all together. Triple DJ78. Very nice. Sulfacord Yummy Hipster says he's coming back in the next Meta Weekly to win it all. I'll be holding you accountable to that. I'm looking forward to it. With 2 less Cup C, maybe we have more non-engine. Crystron K9, 2nd place Abdullah. Good work here. The Millennium's back. It's back. This was limited to 1. From 1 to playing it at 3. Let's freaking go. Consider it. If you're a K9 player, a Vanquish Soul K9 player, you have the Crystron cards. You can't test it out on the ladder yet, but this could be coming up. This could be real. Magnet freaking Warriors. Magnet Warrior with no synchros. That is wild. Shadow, I'm happy to see it. Good. A heavier emphasis on Fiendsmith instead of playing synchros, instead of cheesing out wins with Natura Beast. And then Maxi Doug. Set aside Ogdoadic. Prayers went to 1. He wanted to play Magnet Warriors instead. We got Natura Beast for the win. And then Vanquish Soul K9. With the Stake Your Soul limited to 1, we are still persevering here. We have the red layer. And then Drex was thinking, no, I don't want 1 red layer. I want 2, and I want to play a Durendal. Now, maybe Drex would say, I've always been on this. Do we have a history on that? Let's see. In the last meta, wait a second. Not full power, but you had 2 Stake Your Souls, you got top 16. We take away a stake, and you get 1st place. Well, it must be because of the Draco Tail, right? Everything else, everyone else was nerfed more than you. Now, in this top 16, your deck, right before this week, where you lost 1 Stake Your Soul, no red layer, and no of the search. The searcher being the Durendal. Yep. Damn. Good job. Let's see. Drex says, the worst and most win more card in every Vanquish Soul K9 list is the Vanquish Soul Snow Devil. Oh, you're not playing it. Oh my goodness. I didn't catch it. Thank you for pointing that out. Now, let's fact check them on this. Do TCG players agree? 23% are not main decking it. Now, if we look at the side deck, Snow Devil, side deck it. So these people side decking Snow Devil would be the ones in Master Duel possibly not playing it. There's that 50% chance game 1 where they're going to go first and go second, that is, and they don't want it. No good. All right. So that is definitely an interesting take from Drex, and some people in the TCG, not the majority, but some do agree to not be playing it for that random chance of going second where it's not going to help you. And instead, when going second, we got Durendal, we got the red layers. He's actually making plays with these instead. And it worked, got 1st freaking place. Well done, Drex. Thank you very much. Let's go.